Good morrow, besties. My name is Jess, and I am your witchy best friend. And I'm here today to do a walkthrough of the book that I had used to learn how to read playing cards. My mom has this book when I was very young, and I took it from her and learned how to do all kinds of stuff out of here, from palm reading to dice to phrenology, which I'm not very good at yet, but let's take a look at this. So this is called Predicting Your Future by the Diagram Group. I found this on thrift books for probably like 12 or 14 bucks. I can't remember exactly. This is my third copy of this book. But let's get started. So I have the front page taped in because it's falling apart. The book, if you can't tell, is from 1983. It is probably older than some of the people watching this right now. But here's all the contributors. The foreword just says, Predicting Your Future is a fascinating guide to the major forms of divination in use today. It brings together the methods of fortune tellers from past to present, east to west, and explains how and why the disciplines have been considered worthy of serious study. More importantly, Predicting Your Future explains step-by-step basic techniques and the principles involved in consulting the future. So, it's got all sorts of good information. You have part one, which is fortunes in yourself, palmistry, graphology, phrenology. You have fortunes at random, which is a lot of your cardmancy, tarot, dice, dominoes, numerology, I Ching, and then fortunes from nature, which would be tea reading and astrology. And then it starts off with palm reading. And actually, this is what I started with. Sorry. This is what I had started with when I first delved into this book, because it's a palm reading. Because I've always been interested in palms and palm reading, and don't mind my messed up finger. I gave Mitzi a bath last night, my dog, and she jumped out of the tub and jammed my finger. Anyway, so this goes through, I think it's a great guide. It gives you the map of the hand, all the different lines, the mounts, and then it gives you like the different finger shapes, nail shapes, how your fingers are set into it, your nail. It's so much different information, how your fingers are separated, what your thumb looks like, and then it goes into all the mounts. And maybe because I'm left-handed, I always look at my right hand. But this is fantastic. Like, just giving you different ideas what each mount means. And then it goes into the headline, your heart line, your line of fate, time frames, which I don't really go, the time frames seem off to me in this. Fingerprints, all the different little markings on your hands. Like, I have tons of little X's all over the place. I have an M. And then just the writer talking about how his handprints are changed throughout time. And then we get into graphology, which discuss your handwriting. And as a left-handed person, this never worked for me because my handwriting is horrible and I can never find anything that seemed to fit in. But who knows, maybe you will. I love how they use Richard Nixon's signatures throughout the different periods of his lifetime, and how they just got worse and worse as he became more and more corrupt. We have phrenology, which is the study of the lumps on your head. I have a nice round, very shapely head, we discovered. But some people have different bumps. Fortunes at random. This is where it starts into tarot. When I first started reading this as a young girl, I had trouble with tarot. I still a little bit with like the court cards. And this was just like a lot of information. Just a lot of information that was hard for me to understand as a youngster. But now that I've gone through and read it again and I'm playing with tarot more, it's absolutely making so much more sense. And it gives you a good breakdown of each card. And then it goes into the suits Sorry. And then it gives you different type of spreads you can do and how to interpret them. And then the good old Celtic Cross, which is probably my favorite, Chef's Kiss. And then this is my favorite section here. This is where I learned to read playing cards. I've probably read these pages hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, to be honest. You can do the cartomancy with the 52 card deck. That seemed like way too much for me. Overkill. I think the 32 cards gives you a good idea of what's going on. And then again, they give you different spreads that you could look through. And then this is the bread and butter here for what I do. I think what I'm going to do, instead of doing a whole separate video explaining the combinations, the triplets, the pairs, I might just take pictures of these and put them on my Instagram at witchybestfriend. So you guys can just take a screenshot and use that. Hold on. I don't like some of the special combinations I do, like the aces for relationships and marriages. It's a lot to remember. It's a lot to remember. And I find just using the basic stuff up here seems to work fine when I'm doing my card readings. And then this is the fan spread that I do with the 13 cards and the 5 at the bottom. And then they give you another one, which seems similar to the Grand Tableau from Lenormand. Like I'm doing that. We're going to be starting that class with Rochelle here soon to learn the Lenormand, and I've been reading the book, and there's similarities between the 32 and the 36 cards. So it's going to be very fascinating. And then we get into dice. Dice is a fantastic, quick way to just be like, okay, what's going to happen? Toss them out. Dominoes. I've never divined with dominoes, but the tables of fate, I used to use these a lot when I was younger and first started practicing. And I thought they were great for starting. There's all the different tables in here of the sun, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury. It gets into numerology. And then my mom loved I Ching. I didn't understand it. That was her thing. But she had a whole set with this beautiful this beautiful red silk tablecloth that she would toss on the floor and just toss these out. They have little stones with the cuts in them. And she was really good with that. And it's a lot here for I Ching. A lot. And it was a little too much for me. And then we get into fortunes from nature. And we have tassiography, which is tea reading, which I wish I was a tea girly. I wish I was a coffee girly. I can't bring myself to drink either one of them. And I would love to, because I see all the cool things, all the witchy things people do with tea and coffee. And I feel so left out. But I like this too, because it gives you like a source for like what you see. But I've also used this as a guide for like when you're pulling charms or like cloud scrying. I love cloud scrying. My mother was very good at that. Very, very good at that. She could see all kinds of stuff. And so that's not only for tea reading, but like these different symbols, like, okay, the dog, good friends, good news, happy meetings. And I think it just can be used in all sorts of different ways. And then we have the astrology. And again, when I was younger, well, even now, not going to lie, even now, this does not make sense to me at all. I tried rereading it again recently. And bless you people that can read astrology charts and figure all of this stuff out and how it all works. It's so much. And it just totally lost me at one point. But it's good. And this book's from 1983, so it is the Western. I know some of you practice the true sidereal, so I don't know how this would correlate with any of that. To be honest, I don't know how any of this works anyway. But I thought this was just fascinating. I'll try and see if I can find a link for this book from Thrift Books to see if they still have copies. It has probably been one of my absolute favorite resource guides I've ever used. And yeah, absolutely love this. Love this. But if you have any questions or you'd like a closer up view picture of a page, just let me know in the comments and I can shoot that over to you. And then there's the back of it. But thank you so much for being here and watching. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.